Hi and welcome to My Marketology. I'm Tony and I'm the head marketologist. We've received a number of questions about using LinkedIn for marketing. In today's video, we'll give you some insight into how to use LinkedIn for marketing by using the paid options. First of all, we'll look at the pros and cons of using LinkedIn paid advertising. As with the free approaches that we discussed yesterday, these will apply whether you're B2B, B2C, not-for-profit, or any other sector. So first of all, the pros. So targeting. The large amount of data that LinkedIn hold makes targeting very easy and very focused. Analytics is the second pro. All of your posts and adverts can be thoroughly analysed, which is very important, especially with LinkedIn, which you'll find out a little bit later on. And the advertising options, there are quite a few to choose from, although there are limitations to a few. Again, we'll cover those shortly. So the cons of using LinkedIn paid ads. The first one is a biggie. It's the cost. Usually it's much higher than other PPC options such as AdWords, and in particular the social networks such as Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Another con is that people aren't active every day. In fact, most aren't even active more than once or twice a month, and that does make a difference when you're looking at paying to put ads in front of people. Some of the advertising options are sort of limited availability. They're only available as managed services. And the budgets required to access those are really quite large. So, as I've just kind of touched on there are several options for you to use when using LinkedIn advertising. 3 are what we call and they call self-service. 2 are only available through LinkedIn's Marketing Solutions team. And 1 is only available to buy through programmatic buying platforms. So first of all, the self-service options. These are available on the Create Campaign drop-down on the LinkedIn Campaign Manager homepage. So if you go to your LinkedIn homepage itself, your profile page, click on Advertise in the top right-hand corner, and then Manage Ads, it takes you through to the Campaign Manager. And you can see the Create Campaign drop-downs there. When you click on that, you're then given the options of the self-service advertising options. So you've got sponsored content, text ads and sponsored emails. Now there's 3 different ones here and they're used for quite different reasons. First of all, sponsored content. These adverts show up in users' feeds alongside their other updates. They don't necessarily look like ads and they usually get more attention and higher results than some of the other advertising options as a result of the fact that they don't really stand out as ads. Sponsored content ads allow you to reach a wider audience on multiple devices and out of your circle of followers. They're a great option for creating brand awareness. You also have the option to choose either cost per click, CPC, or cost per 1,000 impressions, CPM, for sponsored content ads. The next type are text ads. As you can see, there's a few quick examples on the image there. Now, text ads appear at the side of the page and they help drive traffic to your website. The quick and easy way to start advertising on LinkedIn. The best practice for creating these types of ads is really to set them up as you would Google AdWords search network ads. They're very similar, as you can see there. Quick tip there is to create compelling headline and description to get the click through, and that should help you get the most out of the text ads. So they're quite a sort of quick and dirty way of getting some advertising out on LinkedIn. Now, the third option that's under the self-service options are sponsored emails. Now, these allow you to advertise to your LinkedIn audience in the most personal way possible, and some may also say the most interruptive with it, but that's straight into people's LinkedIn inboxes, so where you get the messages through on LinkedIn. They only get delivered when the user is active on LinkedIn, so they won't get accidentally overlooked, and 100% of them are delivered, so you don't need to worry about spam filters or undelivered messages. So 100% delivery is quite a big thing when it comes to sort of email, I suppose, if you will. The thing with sponsored emails are they're not a cheap advertising option. So they do tend to only be used by companies with larger budgets. They can also come across as a bit spammy. So if you do consider using them, be very specific with the audience that you're targeting and ensure that the messages are as relevant as you can make them to that particular segment of people that you're sending to. Now, most of our users are using self-service options. So what we'll do for My Marketology is we'll focus on getting the best out of these types of adverts. So the first tip here is to use strong copy. Now, like any other ads that you run, you need strong copy that demands the attention of the reader. The best way for you to do that is to offer interesting insights in a clear and simple way. So demonstrate your understanding of the industry to build trust and try to spike the reader's interest to get the click through. The next tip is to use relevant images. Now these are absolutely essential in catching the eye of your audience. Finding or creating a great image can be as difficult as actually writing the ad copy though. Don't just use the first thing that comes to hand though, think it through and consider if the ad will stand out with the image that you've chosen and whether it supports the body of the advert and the headline of the advert itself. Don't just use the first thing. The next tip is to use targeting naturally. So this is where you absolutely must use the audience personas that you've created. If you haven't created personas, you really don't know who you want to target, why you want to target them and how you're going to do it. So do that first. That is an absolute priority. As I mentioned, LinkedIn advertising isn't the cheapest, so make sure everything is done absolutely perfectly. Now there are hundreds of different ways to target your LinkedIn ads, but here are the 4 most effective ones to get you started, as you can see on the screen. The first is groups. Now this is a great way to target people who might be interested in your product or service. Your audience personas will have highlighted the groups that your ideal buyers are likely to be part of already. Also consider professional or trade associations that you might want to target as well. The second is job title and function. So these are key professional attributes of your target audience. LinkedIn ads allow you to create and target audiences made up of specific criteria. So if you want to target wholesale procurement managers in Manchester, LinkedIn would help you to do that. The next is industry and company size. So these enable you to target the perfect audience for your ads. So do you sell or supply to large multinational corporations or small local businesses? Using these criteria helps you refine your aim to be a very, very precise target. And the fourth is seniority. Now this is a great way to target influencers with your LinkedIn advertising. LinkedIn pulls data in from personal profiles, even if they don't have the word senior in. So for example, if someone has been in sales for a couple of years, but with different companies, maybe in a couple of different titles, the LinkedIn algorithm knows that this person has in essence been in sales for 2 years, possibly more. So it gives them this level of seniority in the targeting. It is a little bit more complicated than that, but you sort of get the idea that just using the previous roles, the businesses they've worked for, the titles themselves, the algorithm can have a rough idea on the seniority of people. So once you've got your targeting, you need to consider testing. So test different versions of your ads to see which gets the best return, the most business or best engagement. They're just examples though. Test based on your own objectives, which obviously you will have set up before you consider actually paying to advertise. LinkedIn text ads allow you to create up to 15 versions of one ad. So consider changing the image, headline, the text copy, the destination, to actually see what works best for you. Again, that's dependent on the audience that you're targeting based on your personas and obviously the targeting that you're looking at across the board there. So the next is budgeting and bidding. So this is a very important step. Obviously you're spending the money at this stage. So you can choose to set your bid and campaign budgets by cost per click or CPC as we mentioned before, or you can do it based on cost per 1,000 impressions or CPM. If you choose the CPC, cost per click route, you can specify the maximum amount that you're willing to pay per click. That's usually the best option if your advert is for direct response. If you decide to go with the cost per 1,000 impressions or CPM, you pay up to your maximum bid every time that your ad is shown 1,000 times on LinkedIn, no matter how many clicks you receive. This method is the one that LinkedIn suggests you use if you're looking to raise brand awareness. So it's getting noise out there, not necessarily clicks. In both cases, CPC or CPM, there's a minimum daily spend limit to advertise on that platform. It's £10 daily budget per campaign or £10 total budget per campaign, which is an optional feature for sponsored content, or a £2 minimum bid for cost per click or CPM. So next, analysis. Using the LinkedIn Campaign Manager, you can keep track of the performance of your ads by monitoring things like impressions, clicks, costs, and a number of other metrics. With each new campaign, look to identify what's working and what you think is best to drop as you move forward. Because the cost of LinkedIn advertising is higher than the social networks, and in a lot of cases Google AdWords and Bing ads as well, you need to keep a close eye on these stats to ensure that you're getting the best return on investment and that you're not just wasting budget. So that's the best way to approach your self-service advertising on LinkedIn. As I mentioned earlier, there are other options available for paid advertising on LinkedIn. The next two advertising options that you can get access through LinkedIn Marketing Solutions team are display ads and account targeting. Now again, these are used for slightly different purposes. So account targeting first of all, or as some people may call it, account-based marketing or ABM. This allows you to match your target audience against the company pages on LinkedIn. So they claim at the moment to have over 8 million company pages available on there to target. In the previous self-service advertising options we've seen, you can target on skills, you can target on seniority, years in role, that sort of thing, but you can't target specific companies. You can only do that through account targeting. They also enable you to do account targeting ads to reach people who make buying decisions at your highest value accounts. So it's basically an extension of the targeting options available for the self-service ads, with that main difference being that you can choose specific companies to target rather than broad demographics or levels of seniority or skills. The next is what we call dynamic ads. So these use customer data to target your audience. You've probably seen them on your own LinkedIn profiles. There's an example one on screen there as well. Basically what you do is just select the audience that you want to target based on skills and interests, create a personalized and creative message, and then the ads do the rest. So things like join now, join group now, apply for a role, that sort of advert, if you will. These types of ads are only available as managed campaigns through LinkedIn Marketing Solutions. So that's dynamic ads and also the account targeting ads. The minimum spend to be able to run these campaigns though puts a lot of advertisers off. You're going to need a quarterly budget of more than around £5,000, and that depends upon the region that you're in. So it's quite a big lump unless you've got quite a lot of budget to be spending. That, as I say, does tend to put advertisers off, especially for the small to medium businesses who just don't have that kind of budget to spend just in one campaign. Now, the final advertising option is only available to buy through programmatic buying platforms, and these are display ads. Again, you'll have seen them on LinkedIn, and there's an example of one there just on the right-hand side of that laptop screen. Now, these are ideal if you want to raise brand awareness and you want to get your name out there. Basically, what you do is you'll pre-purchase ad impressions, choose your preferred audience, and LinkedIn guarantee that your message will reach them. As with sponsored in-mail messages, these come at a higher cost, so they tend to be used by those companies with larger budgets. They do keep your brand fresh in the audience's eye, though, by appearing on the page in a sort of unobtrusive way. The cost of buying programmatic advertising is dependent on quite a number of factors though, so do your homework on programmatic buying platforms before you make any budgetary decisions. Now, programmatic marketing can be confusing and most marketers are only just finding out about it now. If you are wondering about it, we show you what it is, we show you how it works and how to get started in our programmatic marketing course. You can access the details on that course by following the link on screen. So bit.ly/mymarketologyppc. Now, going back to the adverts, although you're not in complete control of the setup and running of the display ads and account-based ads, due to them being run by your LinkedIn Marketing Solutions rep, and the fact that you need to use a third party for the display ads through programmatic buying, you do still need to decide who you're going to target, why you're targeting them, what you're targeting them with, and your budget as well. So in nearly every respect, you need to follow the same process that you'll use for your self-service advertising. So as you can see, LinkedIn does give a lot of different options for paid advertising, but only the self-service ads are really accessible to advertisers with the more modest budgets. If you want to spend the big bucks though, LinkedIn do offer those extra advertising options. At the end of the day, only you can decide which are going to be the best for you and which will actually help you to achieve your objectives. At the end of the day though, in conclusion, as we mentioned yesterday as well, LinkedIn is a social network and its power is in the connections and interaction. Whether you're using paid or free approaches, or even a mix of both, which is always going to be the best way subject to the budgets that you've got, you need to remember those basic rules which were summarised by Ryan Biddulph and that we mentioned in our last video. Be social, be helpful, be engaging, and be human. These are the rules of LinkedIn marketing, as we mentioned again yesterday, no matter what strategy and approaches you've got to use. So get them printed out, stick them on your desk where you'll always see them, turn them into a screensaver for your laptop, your PC, your tablets, your smartphones. They basically stand true for every digital marketing strategy and channel that you're ever going to use. So remember, those are very, very important points. Paid advertising on LinkedIn can become costly, as I mentioned before. So ensure that you've created audience personas, you've defined your objectives, planned your budget, and created a full LinkedIn marketing strategy before you set up your first ad campaigns. And above all else, don't forget to analyse your results so that you don't waste any of your budget. So that's today's video, and hopefully a good introduction on how to use LinkedIn's paid advertising options. So thank you very much for watching today. I look forward to receiving some more questions from you. If you do want to ask a question, please contact us through our social channels or by emailing us at hello@mymarketology.com. I'll see you again tomorrow. Thanks a lot. Bye for now.